So, as anyone who follows my content knows that I'm a housewife, and I always find it so funny when people tell me, Virginia, you need to keep a part-time job, you need to always have your foot in the workplace, because anything could happen, your husband might leave you, or, he could possibly pass away, and you need to have transferable skills. Being a housewife, you're going to lose your career edge, and you're not going to have transferable skills to go out back into the marketplace. And I used to accept that. And I used to just say, oh, well, I don't need transferable skills because I believe that my husband's not going to leave me. And I also believe that God's going to preserve his life to take care of me. But now I realize that not only are those two things still most likely true, that my husband won't leave me and God will preserve his life, but also I do have transferable skills. If my husband were to ever pass away, then I would just take the skills that I've learned in this marriage and transfer them to my next marriage. And I know that the dating market is a jungle. Even in the past 3 years that I've been out of it, I can see that it's changed a lot by watching podcasts and watching videos. And so I understand that it's not easy to find a nice person. But what I do think is an important caveat or asterisk to put next to that is that a lot of people, women, because I'm a woman, so a lot of women who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s dating, and they find it so difficult, I think that we'll be in a wholly different category, because for me to be back in the dating market would only be if my husband dies. And so if my husband dies, then a man will, talk to me and he'll be like, hey, why aren't you married? And it's not because, oh, I've never learned how to get along with a man. I've been too stubborn. I've been focusing on my career. I've been letting Pookie and Ray Ray, run through me for the past 25 years. That's why I'm single. No, it'll be, oh, I was a good wife to a man who took care of me, and I was obedient and submissive, and I was his wife, and then he passed away. And so I think that will help me a lot. That's what I'm assuming. It'll help me out a lot if that situation were to ever transpire. Because a lot of people who are single in their 40s and 50s, or even in their 30s, they're not single because it's hard to find a good mate. They're single because they are probably just very unpleasant people to be around in a relationship, that is. And so if I had a successful marriage, I'm not worried in the slightest about finding somebody new in the event that my husband were to pass away. Because the transferable skills that I have are, I know how to be submissive, I know how to cook, and it's only been 3 years, so I can only imagine I'll get better. I know how to organize. I know how to be peaceful. I know how to be cooperative and friendly. And so even though I'll get older and my sexual marketplace value will diminish in my looks wise, I will have other qualities that will make me more valuable to a man. And even if I do have kids, he won't have to worry about my baby daddy because my baby daddy will be dead. And it's just so crazy because so many women, they're always looking at the what if and, what might happen and, oh, he's going to leave you for somebody younger or somebody better looking or, they're just so wrapped up in the worst case scenario. And it's like, at the end of the day, like I already said, I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe that God's going to preserve my husband. And, I believe that my husband's not a complete idiot, that he's not going to run out on me. And so I'm not worried about it anyway. But I'm just saying that, transferable where, when people talk to you about these transferable skills, you're losing your marketplace value. You're not going to be valuable to an employer in the next 20 years if you don't go back to work. And it's like, I'm not trying to be valuable to an employer. I'm trying to be valuable to a husband. Oh, Virginia, you need to go back to school. You need to get a degree because you need to be able to have some kind of value in the workplace. No, ma'am. I have an MRS degree, okay? I have an advanced degree in being a wife, and that is what I want to transfer over to. That is where I'm going to be, because it's not like my husband and I are going to, break up or that he's going to die and then I'm just going to go back into the workforce. No! What? If I wanted to work, I'd still be working. The reason I'm a housewife is because I don't want to work. So if something happens to him, I'm just going to jump on someone else's bandwagon and still not work. You people got to figure out what you really want in life, because you're so worried about trying to patch all these holes and make all these, back alley deals and make all these bridges for the what if and what might happen. No, I'm very secure in what I have going on. I know where I want my life to be. I know what kind of life I want to live. And so I'm not worried and stressing myself out, thinking about, oh, what might happen and what I need to do just in the event of what if. No. First off, my God is able and he will provide. And secondly, there's more where he came from. There's more where my husband came from. There'll be other men who will be happy to have a fit, friendly, and submissive wife on their arm. And so, ladies, if you're like me and you have these people in your ear, chirping in your ear, talking about you need to, stay in the workforce and you just need to always have a little bit, for yourself. I mean, if you want to do that, sure, I guess. It just sounds like a lot of hassle, because it's not necessary at the end of the day. So if you're a good wife and you have people around you who can see that you're a good wife, then if your husband were to pass away, then, you have the references to let the next man know, like, hey, she was a good wife, she was an obedient wife, and her husband loved her, and they'd still be married to this day if, the unforeseen circumstances hadn't happened. And so that's what I'm betting on, and that's what I'm standing on.